Check, check. Mic check. 1, 2, 3.
Said, are you getting your shot up? Need to talk to you.
We are up.
Just let me know when you call.
They're up. I'm gonna call live talk. I gotta know. They won't answer. We have to get up.
It's not 602, right? It's
606.
Mic check. I was crying. It was horrible. Mic check. Testing 1, 2.
About that confession, Molly?
I know. Yep, I know.
Jonathan, mic check, please.
Hello, mic check. 1, 2, 3. Mic check. Mic check.
Thank you.
I was crying, and that was horrible.
That woman says she was on a roller coaster at Epic Universe when a man died. We've just learned his name and cause of death. That's coming up.
An hours-long standoff between a man with a shotgun and a SWAT team and a bomb squad comes to a peaceful end. I'll tell you what the police chief says was behind the fight between the man and his family. Coming up.
And the man accused of killing an off-duty officer at a gas station is trying to get his confession hidden from the public.
Streaming on clickorlando.com and broadcasting live, you're watching News 6 at 4 p.m.
Some breaking news at 4. The medical examiner just released the cause of death for the man who died at Epic Universe after riding a roller coaster.
They say he died from multiple blunt impact injuries. Your Orlando community correspondent Mike Valenti joins us now live outside Epic. And Mike, you just learned the name of the man who died as well.
Yeah, guys, that's right. Just within the last 10 minutes, we heard from the medical examiner. We also heard from other authorities who confirmed the name of that man. Kevin Rodriguez Zavala, 32 years old. As you just heard, he died from multiple blunt impact injuries. Earlier today, we happened to speak to a woman who was on that ride. She said she saw what happened. She understandably is still clearly shaken up. And just like us, she wants to know how this happened.
Horrible what I see. I can't understand how that happens.
With her vacation winding to a close, Colombian native Maria Fernandez decided to experience Stardust Racers for the fourth time of the night Wednesday. Her family took this video while she was on the ride, minutes before things took a frightening turn.
One girl started to say, "Help, help, help."
The ride ended, and Maria could hear screaming coming from several rows behind her.
After of that, all the people of security say to the people on the lane, get out, get out.
When she got out, she saw the man slumped over, and there appeared to be blood on his shirt, and staff were scrambling to pull the restraint off of him.
That was horrible. On that moment, I think that I have like a attack panic.
Is there anything unusual about the ride itself or anything that happened on the ride before it stopped?
No.
As the Florida Department of Agriculture investigates, Universal is cooperating with the Orange County Sheriff's Office, adding in a statement that the park is devastated by this event.
And after our interview, Maria Fernandez showed us an email that she had drafted after what was a sleepless night last night. She said that she got up this morning, was still thinking about it, drafted an email to Universal, giving her account of what happened in the account that you just heard in that interview, and asking what they can do about this to make sure something like this never happens again. Again, it's important to note we don't know all the circumstances surrounding what happened. We just learned more details in the last 20 minutes or so that this man's name was Kevin Rodriguez Zavala, a 32-year-old man who, according to the medical examiner's office, died from multiple blunt impact injuries. This is, of course, a story we'll continue to follow closely. As soon as we learn any more information, we'll be sure to bring you that on air and online on clickorlando.com. For now, we're live outside Epic. I'm Mike Valenti, your Orlando community correspondent, News 6.
I know you'll keep us up to date, Mike. Thank you. Some more breaking news at 4 o'clock here. We've just confirmed the deputy chief of Kissimmee Police has been placed on leave. He's also the subject of an internal affairs investigation. Wilson Munoz previously served as interim chief. He's been on the force since 1999. We're digging for some details as to why he is under investigation. Your Kissimmee community correspondent, Laverne McGee, is on the way to the police department right now. She's going to have a report live coming up at 5 o'clock. A suspect with a shotgun holds up inside a home for hours as the SWAT team waits outside. The man is accused of getting into a fight with his uncle over that particular home. This all happened this afternoon in the area of Jackson and Polaris Streets in Cocoa. Your Brevard County community correspondent James Sparvero shows how it all came to an end peacefully.
The suspect pulled a shotgun out and said, "You're not coming in this house," and basically said, "I'll shoot you."
This is how Police Chief Evander Collier broke the news that a SWAT team and a bomb squad were in an hours-long standoff with an armed man barricaded in this house on Polaris Street. The chief says the man and his uncle were fighting over who gets to inherit the house. The chief said the homeowner, the man's mother, died, and now the man's uncle was trying to kick the suspect out. And this was over a feud about the house.
It's a feud about the house, and they're right in the middle of who's going to actually get possession of this house. So we're being very patient right now because we've been out here a couple of hours now, almost 3 or 4 hours now, still negotiating with him, and he's not even communicating with us.
And no longer than 5 minutes after the chief just talked to us, the man actually surrendered. From where they let us stage, I could only see the top of his head as they put him into the cruiser. Police say this is 51-year-old Charles Hopkins.
We're over here wondering if he's alive or...
Neighbor Savannah Hook is thankful it's over.
It was very scary of all these guns and all the smoke and gas, but it's good he made it out. They got him out.
And most importantly, this was resolved peacefully today. No one was hurt. The police told me that Hopkins will be charged with aggravated assault with a deadly weapon with domestic violence. And we'll update this story on clickorlando.com. once his charging documents are available online. In Brevard County, I'm your Cocoa community correspondent, James Sparvero, News 6.
Earlier today, the city of Edgewater held a procession for the officer who was shot and killed while off duty at a gas station. Meantime, the man accused of killing him was in court today. His defense team wants to seal his confession to killing the officer. Your Volusia County community correspondent Molly Reed was in that hearing today. And Molly, what did they say about that confession?
Well, with all of the media and public attention on this case so far, Eduardo Machado's defense attorney argued that hiding his confession would give him a better chance at a fair trial. The judge agreed to do so, but there's just one problem with that. We already have the confession in summary from the arrest report, and Sheriff Mike Juel told us what he confessed to right after his arrest. Now, the sheriff says on Monday, 24-year-old Eduardo Machado, a cashier at the Ormond by the Sea Circle K, shot and killed Juel. All of this was caught on surveillance video. Juel was off duty and stopped into the store by his family's house. Video shows Juel at the counter, Machado walk in and then raise the gun. The sheriff says Machado shot Juel 24 times, and detectives say he picked up the gun just 2 hours before the shooting. In the arrest report we have, Machado told deputies he was having a bad day and was thinking about shooting Juel on the way to work, and then even said he did shoot him. Those documents, though, with those confessions, will now be sealed from the public's request.
My effort is nothing should be released to the public that is anything close to a confession until such time as this court has a chance to determine whether or not it's a confession.
So again, those documents will now be sealed so we can no longer request them. Machado also entered a written not guilty plea earlier this week to his premeditated first-degree murder charge. He will be back in court next month for an arraignment. I'm your Volusia County community correspondent Molly Reed, News 6.
Molly, thank you. Well, as vaccines continue to be a hot topic across the country, a two-day CDC meeting on vaccine practices kicked off in Atlanta today. Two common childhood vaccines are being examined by the advisory committee. One proposed change would impact the combined MMRV shot. Children under 4 should get one shot for measles, mumps, and rubella, and then a separate one for chickenpox. Earlier this year, Health and Human Services Secretary Robert F. Kennedy Jr. fired all those panel members and picked their replacements, some who are skeptical about vaccines. The panel is also debating changes to the hepatitis B vaccine recommendation. This comes as many vaccine experts say these shots are safe and effective.
And there's not new evidence out there that we have been following that would show that you would want to change the guidance.
Doctors here also warn about changes that could lead to health insurance companies limiting coverage.
In less than an hour, Orange County leaders are set to meet for a final hearing on next year's budget. Just a few days ago, state leaders accused the county of overtaxing residents. Commissioners are working on an $8.2 billion spending plan. On Monday, Florida's chief financial officer accused the county of close to $200 million in wasteful spending. It was all part of the state's DOGE task force investigation. The CFO is calling for that money to be returned in the form of a property tax cut. It's something the governor also mentioned yesterday.
$200 million in waste in one county. So the question is, would you rather cut out that waste and then not have to pay property tax on your personal residence, or do you want to just keep getting taxed so that they can fritter away your money?
Orange County Mayor Jerry Demings responded to the findings. He says the audit does not take into account Central Florida's tourism costs. He's calling the whole thing politically motivated. Tonight's budget hearing starts at 5.
A local community wants more funds for new city projects.
How this could impact people searching for a home, that's coming up. Plus,
Trump's FCC forced a major network to pull a loud Trump critic, Jimmy Kimmel, off the air.
Jimmy Kimmel's late night show now off the air in response to comments he made about Charlie Kirk's death. What lawmakers are saying about this, that's next.
Pretty quiet evening on tap. We do have just a couple of itty-bitty showers kind of sliding down and around I-4 tonight. We're tracking those, and we're talking about the forecast for high school football and into your weekend in a few minutes.
You're watching News 6 at 4 as we take a live look at our camera in Daytona Beach. We'll be right back.
News 6 Insider is sponsored by Orange County Library System.
I'm Joey Manna, one of your News 6 Insider guides to Central Florida. And right now, if you go to clickorlando.com/insider, you can see the very first episode of Everyday Wild, where I take you up close and personal with those little lizards doing push-ups in your driveway. Signing up to be a News 6 Insider is free, it's easy, and it's the only way you can see Kara Moeller and I explore Central Florida. Go binge watch all the videos, and don't forget to nominate your favorite teacher for the News 6 Educator of the Week. As always, you can sign up to be a News 6 Insider at clickorlando.com/insider.
Sponsored by Orange County Library System.
Well, Jimmy Kimmel's fate at ABC is up in the air right now. The network indefinitely suspended the late-night host over his comments about the man accused of killing Charlie Kirk.
A lot of people are talking about this today. CBS's Gwen Baumgartner has reaction to the news.
Trump must go now! Jimmy Kimmel is off the air for now, and the news brought a small group of protesters to the studio where he tapes his long-running late-night show. The controversy erupted over comments he made Monday night.
He had some new lows over the weekend with the MAGA gang desperately trying to characterize this kid who murdered Charlie Kirk as anything other than one of them and doing everything they can to score political points from it.
ABC took action after the nation's largest local television company took a stand. Nexstar Media Group announced it was pulling Kimmel from the 28 ABC affiliates it operates.
ABC also got an earful from the head of the FCC over Monday's broadcast. Chairman Brendan Carr says late night TV needs a wake-up call.
I think there's a lot of commentary on late night having shifted dramatically over the last 10 years. It used to be that they would go for laugh lines, and it's shifted to going for applause lines.
Thursday, President Trump dismissed free speech concerns and celebrated Kimmel's suspension.
Well, Jimmy Kimmel was fired because he had bad ratings more than anything else, and he said a horrible thing about a great gentleman known as Charlie Kirk. And Jimmy Kimmel is not a talented person. He had very bad ratings, and they should have fired him a long time ago.
On Capitol Hill, several Democratic lawmakers said they do see a threat to free speech.
When the head of the FCC is talking openly about taking away the broadcast license, then that is the government trying to exercise censorship.
Kimmel's contract with the network is up in May of next year. Gwen Baumgartner, CBS News, Los Angeles.
All right, let's get you to your weather. We have our meteorologist, Jonathan Kagas, in tonight. And how is it looking as we head into the evening here?
It's looking pretty nice, pretty quiet after a pretty nice start today across most of Central Florida. I have some great photos to show you. These were submitted on our Pin It section of the News 6 weather app. You can go to that. It's a free download, or you can scan that QR code over my shoulder. It'll take you to clickorlando.com/pins. Early morning launch. You see that there from Oviedo. Great looking shot there. Then also later in the morning as the sun came up, the shadow there being blocked out by the clouds in the foreground, making that nice scattering effect across the way there. And then Ann from just north on the north side of Ormond Beach sending in this great shot here. Some of these downpours that were sliding into the coast earlier today. Great shot there. If you have a weather photo, I'd love to see it. We'd love to showcase it. Clickorlando.com/pins, or right there, download the free News 6 weather app. There's a section in the app. If you have the photo on your phone, you can upload it right there. It'll come right at us. We can put it right on the map for you. Scattered showers are out there. They are few and far between on the south side of Lake Apopka. There's a little itty bitty one right there. A couple of other downpours just offshore. By and large, most of us should be on the dry side if you're heading out this evening. Again, just keep the umbrella handy, maybe in the car. I don't think you're going to need it. There's 5, 6 o'clock on your Thursday evening, again, just an hour or two from now. Anything that's out there really starts to fizzle out. Again, a stray downpour along the coast through the early morning. That's 2 o'clock. Again, same deal as what we've seen over the past couple of mornings. And then I think we're pretty dry for your Friday. So here we go, 6, 7 o'clock on your Friday morning. Note that we even get rid of some of the clouds. I think we have a pretty clear start across a lot of Central Florida. It's going to be along the coast, and this is the theme for the morning. We're going to for the weekend, I should say. We're going to bring in the wind from the north and east, and that's going to help to pump up the cloud cover on the coast, and then also a couple of stray showers. Here we go by high school football time tomorrow. I'm cautiously optimistic that most, if not all, of the games getting completely dry, and I'm even more optimistic that even if there is a stray downpour, there's not going to be any lightning involved tomorrow night. So some good news all around there. There's 11 o'clock with a stray shower right along the coast. Otherwise, we are looking pretty good ending out the work week. Here's a live look. Port Canaveral, Brevard County temperatures right now into the upper 70s with our launch credit union camera tonight. We're back to a mainly clear sky, at least at the port. The breeze at about 13 miles an hour. We're holding tight at 84 in Daytona Beach, Mount Dora. Good evening. We are at 82. Now here's a look at your forecast.
Your forecast is sponsored by Renewal by Andersen.
Temperatures back to the upper 80s. Average high temperatures for the first time this season fall below 90 tomorrow. We're back to 89. That's the average anyway. And we're hovering right around that tomorrow. Rain chances down a little bit, 30%. I think the best opportunity is right along the coast for a few of those stray showers to sneak on shore. Gabrielle's looking a little rough tonight. There is hardly any thunderstorm activity around the swirl. It's starting to fire up a little bit on the north side. Again, this is not a threat to Florida by any means, but just wanted to show you Gabrielle again beaten up by wind shear and dry air, and it's going to stay out into the Atlantic. 30% shot for downpours again tomorrow. Most of us are dry. Same deal as we start the weekend and into Sunday. 40% chance for rain as we get back to next work week, guys.
Jonathan, thank you. For the first time in decades, a local city is thinking about increasing its impact fees by 169%.
What this means for those in the market for a new home and where the money will go, that is next. Here's a live look from our executive airport. Pretty nice looking day, as Jonathan said. The humidity is back. You're watching News 6. We'll be right back.
This portion of the news is sponsored by Light Orlando, delivering hope together.
The cost of buying a home could cost you more in one Central Florida city.
So leaders in Eustis are considering a massive impact fee hike. We told you about this earlier this week. For the first time in nearly 20 years, Eustis is reviewing impact fees that developers pay to help cover city projects like new parks, public safety facilities, and water and sewer upgrades. Right now, single-family homes pay a little more than $1,100. A study recommends raising that to more than $3,100. That would be an increase of 169%.
We want to be development friendly. We want to have residential units that are affordably priced in the city of Eustis. That said, these improvements need to get made in order to serve our incoming residents, our incoming businesses with water and sewer, and with other improvements.
The City Commission will hold a special workshop tonight before taking the first official vote. That starts at 5:30. A major road you may take is getting ready for some big improvements.
Yeah, we'll tell you about all the changes that could be coming to US 192 and how it's supposed to help with the traffic. Plus,
I'm News 6 investigator Louis Bold, and neighbors are suing the owner of their community because they say their lot rent has skyrocketed.
How am I going to make it? They'll say, what's the lot rent? And I'll say, oh, it's $1441.59. And they're like, are you crazy?
Residents say they're trapped, they're trying to sell, but the lot rent is deterring buyers. There is a Florida statute that is supposed to help with rent disputes. Coming up, the reason these residents say it did not help them.
Welcome back. We are following several top stories right now.
A death investigation at Universal's newest theme park. The man's name is 32-year-old Kevin Zavala. We learned from the medical examiner's office the cause of death is multiple blunt impact injuries. Today, the roller coaster was closed while a state investigator looked into what happened. Universal says they are fully cooperating with the Orange County Sheriff's Office. After several hours, a standoff ends in Brevard County between a SWAT team and a man with a shotgun. Police said that Charles Hopkins got into a fight with his uncle over inheriting the home. Following the death of his mother, who was the owner, Hopkins eventually surrendered and is charged with aggravated assault with a deadly weapon. The man accused of killing Edgewater police officer David Juel was in court today. Eduardo Machado's defense team wants to seal his confession to killing the officer, arguing it would give him a better chance to a fair trial. The judge agreed to seal the confession, although that confession has already been released to the media in his arrest report. Machado also submitted a written not guilty plea.
Well, the rent nearly tripling in 1 year. News 6 investigator Lewis Bolden has been hearing from people all over Florida whose lot rent in their manufactured home communities is through the roof. So he headed to one county where people are fighting back in court.
Gail Berghold's haven has become the source of her stress.
I had a stroke last year. You know, you just keep thinking about things at night when you're in bed or something, you know, it just...
And what are you thinking about?
How am I going to make it?
Berghold lives at the Highlands at Scotland Yards, a manufactured home community in Pasco County. She was paying around $600 a month in lot rent, but in January, her rent jumped to $1,300 a month.
I'm lucky if I have money for groceries.
To get out of the costly rent, Berghold put her home on the market twice with few offers, and she's not alone.
I should have gotten around $225 for my house. I have it listed right now for $179. I'm going to drop the price, and I'm going to drop the price until I can get out of it.
Donna Reed has been trying to sell her home as well as others in the same community. She used to sell one home a month, but since the rent increase, so far she's only sold 3 this year.
They'll say, what's the lot rent? And I'll say, oh, it's $1,441.59. And they're like, are you crazy?
Reed and Berghold are among a group of residents now suing the property owner, Legacy Communities. The issue, a lot rent increase of up to 126%. Under Florida law, manufactured homeowners are allowed to request mediation with the property owners if there's a dispute over rent. During this mediation, both parties agreed to market rent, but residents claim 126% is far above what's allowed in their lease.
This prospectus has basically 2 different rents. One of them tries to keep you with CPI, Consumer Price Index. And the other one says that if you want to approach market rent and market rent is higher, you can do CPI plus 2%. So for this year, they should have had an increase of 5% versus 126%.
News 6 sent 7 emails over the course of 3 days to a person who represented herself as the media contact for Highlands at Scotland Yards. We asked pointedly more than once, can you explain the reason behind the significant increase in lot rent? We also asked for a comment on the pending lawsuit the residents filed. We were told the company president, Andrew Fells, wanted to have a call to provide context on background. But because we couldn't agree on a time and date, the company never answered our questions, then sent a statement reading, because of the pending lawsuit, Legacy will not comment. What do you think about this statute that allows mediation? Because it didn't seem to help in this case. What do you think about the statute?
And in this case, it was used not as a shield for the community to protect themselves, but as a sword by the landowner.
Lewis Bolden, News 6.
Well, despite weeks of pushback by homeowners, water rates will soon be going up in Apopka. Last night, city commissioners agreed to raise the price of water, reclaimed water, and sewer rates by 15.5% each. That follows a nearly 20% jump last year. The mayor says the extra money is needed to help replace aging pipes and lift stations, along with overall rising costs. But many residents say they simply cannot afford the higher bills.
We've got wonderful people in here at the city of Apopka that cannot meet their bills today. Every time I look around, my bills, all of them are going up. Some people are going to be living on beans and rice.
Commissioners voted 4-1. The new rates take effect on October 1st.
Well, 2 maps remain after months of reviewing 30 redistricting maps in Orange County. Voters approved bumping up the county's districts from 6 to 8 last year. But as News 6's Juel Baker explains, people are split on how the maps will impact 2 areas, Winter Park and Pine Hills.
This is about unite, not disunite. Map 1 unites all the cities combined together.
Map 7B puts and keeps that community together. And it will literally, technically speaking, probably the first time that's happened.
Residents pleading their case, explaining why either Map 1A or 7B should be selected as Orange County's new district map. The county's expanding from 6 commission districts to 8, so each commissioner will now represent about 178,000 people. The divide is mostly caused by how it impacts Pine Hills and Winter Park.
Even though Winter Park is a municipality, the people of Winter Park will still vote in the same election as the people of Pine Hills. And that may potentially skew a commissioner's focus.
Map 1A lumps Pine Hills with Winter Park, Maitland, and Eatonville. Pine Hills advocates believe that would weaken their voice. The alternative, Map 7B, would put Pine Hills with Maitland, Eatonville, and Orla Vista in District 7 and would leave Winter Park in District 5 with more rural areas. Winter Park Mayor Sheila DeCiccio believes that urban areas share similar needs and should be put together.
Our shared call center with Maitland Police assists from both jurisdictions when needed. We also share elementary school district Domerick with Maitland.
In a statement to News 6, Winter Park City Manager Randy Knight said that Map 7B would place Winter Park in a district that stretches all the way to the Brevard County line. But Dr. Sandra Fatme Hall with the Pine Hills Community Council says that the map connects them with neighborhoods with similar challenges.
You know, when you have a city and you have city dollars and you have county dollars, we don't have that at all. And I think that would be an issue.
County leaders will make their final decision next month. In Orange County, Juel Baker, News 6.
Now to the child porn investigation surrounding a retired firefighter. We told you about this as breaking news yesterday. Deputies say they shot and killed the man when he pulled a gun from his waistband. Now, this all happened yesterday at a home on Hatfield Court in Seminole County. That's right near the East Wekiva Trail. The sheriff's office says the investigation started last week after Seminole County detectives got a cyber tip about child pornography being accessed inside Gary Guckenberger's home. Detectives say they seized electronics and later uncovered hundreds of child porn images. That's when an arrest warrant was issued for the 68-year-old retired Seminole County firefighter. During surveillance yesterday afternoon, investigators say Guckenberger came out armed with a revolver in his waistband.
He immediately reached to his waistband, pulling a .38 revolver out of his waistband and start raising it up. The deputy that was on scene, the detective that was on scene, provided clear communication. Don't do that, drop your firearm. His response to the deputy that was here was, "I have to."
Detectives opened fire, killing him. The Florida Department of Law Enforcement is now investigating. The sheriff says investigators are still working to determine if there are any more victims. The deputy who fired is now on paid administrative leave, which is standard.
Troopers are investigating a crash where a car rear-ended a bicyclist and killed the rider. It happened last night around 11:30 on East Colonial Drive near St. Catherine Avenue. It's in Christmas. The Florida Highway Patrol says the bicyclist didn't have lights or reflectors and was not wearing reflective clothing. They say the driver in a Mitsubishi hit him from behind. A passenger in the Mitsubishi was taken to the hospital with some minor injuries. Troopers believe the man was not wearing a helmet during the crash. FHP is investigating.
Major changes could be coming to US 192 in Osceola County. In less than an hour, the state will be hosting an open house to give the public a chance to see the planned improvements. Your Osceola County community correspondent Stephanie Rodriguez found out many people are already on board.
The project would resurface a big chunk of 192 while also improving traffic flow at this heavily used turnpike exit at Cross Prairie Parkway.
It's really busy, to be honest. It takes like an hour to just get to St. Cloud.
People who've taken 192 in Osceola County know how bad congestion can get.
That's why I don't drive often, because I take the freeways because it's so packed all the time.
The Florida Department of Transportation is eyeing updates like resurfacing it from Main Street all the way to Aeronautical Drive.
192 is really bad, so anything they could do to help out, it'll be great, fantastic.
It's also focusing on the Turnpike exit to 192 that's often backed up. The project would add a new lane that drivers can use to go straight or left.
That would help a lot, to be honest. It would help the traffic go smoothly, and the road just needs it.
How helpful would an extra lane off the turnpike be? Very helpful. Like, a lot.
The open house is at 5:30 tonight at the Hart Memorial Central Library in Kissimmee. There's also a virtual option. We'll have more information on the open house at clickorlando.com. I'm your Osceola County community correspondent, Stephanie Rodriguez, News 6.
Heavy rain recently caused the water to quickly rise along a local river, and neighbors are worried the next storm could be even worse.
Honestly, if it wasn't for the flooding, this could be our forever home.
What city leaders are doing to repair damage along the river banks. That's next.
Good news is hardly any rain out there tonight. We do have a couple of stray downpours. These are very small and these are quick hitting light showers. We're going to pinpoint where they're headed and take a look at your evening and more importantly, the weekend in a few minutes.
And before we head to break, we want to remind you to check out our primetime schedule on News 6 Plus. We have a new take on the day's news on News 6 tonight. That's at 9. Go in depth as we track the tropics and answer your weather questions at 9:30. Then watch the late news an hour early. It's all tonight on News 6 Plus. Download our streaming app for free. Search WKMG in your smart TV's app store. It's on Roku, Apple, and Fire.
I'm News 6's Mark Lehman, and we're in Altamont Springs near the Little Wekiva River, which is much calmer now. It's a far cry from what we saw earlier this month when there were flooding problems. Leaders in Altamont Springs know this has been a long-standing problem for years, and that's why they're looking to get the ball rolling on a flood control project.
You know, there's nothing we can do because when it floods, it's just going to keep getting ruined.
For Heather Zaradnik, living near the Little Wekiva River is a constant concern.
And we've tried to, protect it with sandbags, but you can see our everything's just eroded away.
We first met Heather nearly a year ago when her home was surrounded by water in the wake of Hurricane Milton. The Spring Oaks neighborhood has long had problems with the river overflowing from heavy rain, even earlier this month when it briefly reached minor flood stage from passing storms.
If we would have had a hurricane come directly after that rainstorm and the river was still high, I would have been extremely worried.
Now, a plan is in the works to repair damage from previous storms. Tonight, Altamont Springs is voting to approve hiring a company for a $3 million project.
We know they can't stop it, but if they could do anything that would maybe, keep it from coming into our homes, that would be great.
If approved, the work includes installing barriers to control erosion along the riverbank. The goal is to replace the soil that's been lost and to be better prepared for when the river rises again.
Honestly, if it wasn't for the flooding, this could be our forever home.
So far, full details on this project haven't been released, and a timetable also has not been established. Commissioners will be voting on funding for this plan during their meeting at 7 tonight. In Altamont Springs, Mark Lehman, News 6.
All right, meteorologist Jonathan Kagas is standing by, and I don't see a whole lot of activity behind you on the radar right now, which is good news for so many people who feel really soaked right now.
Absolutely, yeah. I mean, early last week it was wild. We had a ton of rain early on, then we were able to dry out to the back half of the work week and into the weekend. This is really all I have for you. I'll take you close into Ponce Inlet, New Smyrna Beach. Right now, just a couple of stray downpours, very light showers, pushing in from the Atlantic. Edgewater, good evening. We have that shower now developing on the west side of town, New Smyrna Beach. Again, very, very light stuff. That's what the light green represents. The yellow represents the relatively speaking heavier downpours. You can track these downpours with me tonight by downloading that free News 6 weather app. If you catch a great weather picture tonight as well, you can submit it to pin it right there in the section. It's all free again to download right there in the app. Still watching a couple of little guys out there. There's nothing to write home about. Right off of Lake Apopka into Montverde tonight, just a very light shower pushing through. Again, these are quick hitting and will not last long. This is what I have for you the rest of the evening. 8, 9 o'clock. Again, heading out tonight. I think you're pretty good. Once we get towards the latter stages, 9, 10 o'clock, could run the risk of a few stray downpours again sneaking on shore as we're taking the wind off of the Atlantic, and then it'll help to build some downpours. Notice we get some drier air in here. That's going to be 8 o'clock on your Friday morning. The clouds represented by that gray film on the screen there, those start to erode a little bit. We get some sunshine in here to start the day, and then we'll try to bubble up a few of those extra clouds and a few stray downpours, mainly along the coast again with the breeze off of the Atlantic. So again, the further west you are, the drier we're going to be and the more sunny we're going to be. So we're talking about temperatures getting back to the low 90s along the I-75 corridor. 7 o'clock tomorrow evening, high school football. Just dodging a stray shower closer to the coast. Most of the games tomorrow not only going to be dry, but should be dry the entire time. Other than the coast, again, just that stray opportunity for a passing downpour. I do not think there's going to be much, if any, lightning in any of these downpours either. So things going to be much, much better again this Friday night. Here's a live look in Daytona Beach right now. Beautifully blue skies. A few of those puffy clouds out over the water tonight. Temperatures back into the mid-80s. The breeze out of the northeast at about 10 to 15 miles an hour. Air temperatures tomorrow back to the upper 80s and lower 90s. Now here's a look at your forecast.
Your forecast is sponsored by Ramjack.
Average temperatures also going down. We talked about this yesterday, that today is the last time in the Orlando area that we averaged 90 degrees. Average high temperatures dipped to 89. Now, of course, we can still jump over that mark. We know that well into October, but nonetheless, we're hanging around average tomorrow. Rain chances down to 30%. And I think most of us, again, are going to be on the drier side. Taking the good times rolling. If you don't like the heat forward, by Halloween, our average temperature falls to 81 degrees. By the time we get to Thanksgiving this year, on November 27th, our high temperatures back to the upper 70s. And then certainly even more comfortable by the time we round out December, Christmas Day, our average high temperature drops to 73. So the corner is being turned as we speak. On the tropical front, there's a lot of clouds out there. There's really nothing that organized, including Gabrielle. It's right here. It's just now, right there, that little speck. It's just now trying to get a little thunderstorm on the northeast side of it. It is looking ugly tonight, just how we like it. Another wave coming off, and already some of its thunderstorms are decaying as it works its way out into the ocean. One of the reasons Gabby is not doing too hot tonight, you see that counterclockwise swirl right there? It's an upper low pressure center, and that's helping to induce some wind shear on the west side. In between the two, that orange blob, if you will, that's a lot of dry air in the mid-levels of the atmosphere. So that wind shear is being injecting Gabrielle, with the drier air in the mid-levels of the atmosphere. And again, while it is expected to get a little stronger, it is going to turn as well. So this is nothing for the United States and likely going to pass as a low-end hurricane east of Bermuda. So everybody should be good with Gabrielle. Tropics looking pretty good right now. 30% shot for downpours tomorrow night into the weekend. 40% chance on Sunday. I think a lot of us guys are dry with temperatures in the upper 80s.
All right, Jonathan, thank you. Open your camera app, scan the QR code on your screen right now, and click the link. We want to see your weather pictures and videos. They could end up on TV. You can also go to clickorlando.com/pins and upload your pictures and videos that way.
Well, now to a question for our traffic safety expert. We see a lot of construction here, and someone wanted to know what color lights are allowed on a construction vehicle.
Trooper Steve will have that answer next. As we take a live look at Mount Dora, you're watching News 6. We'll be right back.
Coming up in the morning, helping local students with their mental health.
The latest high school rolling out a new resource for teens and how it's already getting results for kids.
Plus, your weather and traffic every 10 minutes.
We'll see you for News 6 mornings starting at 6.
I saw green lights flashing in a construction zone. Is this legit? Actually, I asked myself this a few months ago, and I'm glad this viewer is asking this. So the answer, yes, but only in very specific situations. Florida law says that construction vehicles or equipment that's working inside of a construction zone on highways where the speed limit is 55 miles per hour or higher can display a mix of flashing green, amber, and sometimes even red lights. But here's the catch. The only is when workers are actually present inside that zone. Outside of that, you'll mainly see amber lights or sometimes white strobes on these vehicles to let you know that they're out there working. So if you're driving through an active work zone and you notice some flashing green lights, don't be confused. That's legal, an intentional signal designed to grab your attention and make sure that you're slowing down, you're watching out for the workers. Bottom line, green lights in construction vehicles aren't common, but when you see them in high-speed work zones, it means pay attention, lives are on the line. If you got a traffic safety question you want me to answer it, head on over to clickorlando.com/AskTrooperSteve.
3, 2, 1. Liftoff.
SpaceX's Falcon 9 rocket launched once again this morning from the Space Coast. Another 28 Starlink satellites were sent from the Cape Canaveral Space Force Station into low Earth orbit. Minutes after liftoff, the first stage booster landed on a drone ship in the Atlantic Ocean. Meantime, a cargo ship has finally reached the International Space Station. It was supposed to arrive there yesterday, 3 days after it launched from our coast. It was delayed, though, because the engine shut down too soon. Astronauts used the space station's robotic arm to pluck the capsule from orbit as they soared over Africa. The cargo ship was packed with food, science experiments, and equipment for the space station. News 6 at 5 is coming up next.
We're continuing to follow a lot of breaking news, including another shakeup at a police agency that's seen a lot of change lately. Plus, we're learning more about a death at Central Florida's newest theme park, what we now know about what happened at Epic Universe last night. And the policies one sheriff's office is reconsidering after an innocent person died while deputies tried to take in suspects. Your forecast is only minutes away. Don't forget, you can stream all of our newscasts and live cameras like this look at Daytona Beach for free anytime on News 6 Plus. Our meteorologist, Jonathan Kegas, will have a look at how this day and the rest of your work week are shaping up.
Streaming on clickorlando.com and broadcasting live, you're watching News 6 at 5 p.m.
Welcome back to News 6. Breaking right now at 5. A death on a ride at Central Florida's newest theme park. In the last hour, we've learned the man's name and his cause of death.
That cause of death listed as multiple blunt impact injuries. That is the cause of death for the man who tragically died after riding a roller coaster at Epic Universe.
It happened yesterday on Stardust Racers, the centerpiece of Universal's brand new theme park. The coaster reaches speeds up to 62 miles per hour and a height of 133 feet. Orlando community correspondent Mike Valenti joins us now live outside Epic. So, Mike, you've been working this story all day. What else have you learned?
Yeah, we should note that in that medical examiner's report, the medical examiner says that 32-year-old Kevin Rodriguez Zavala's death was an accident. As you said, he died from multiple blunt impact injuries, according to the ME's office. Earlier today, we spoke to a woman who's on vacation from Colombia. She happened to be on the same ride at the same time, Stardust Racers, as Zavala. As you can imagine, she's still quite shaken up today.
It was a horrible night.
With her vacation winding to a close, Colombian native Maria Fernandez decided to experience Stardust Racers for the fourth time of the night Wednesday. Her family took this video while she was on the ride, minutes before things took a frightening turn.
One girl started to say, "Help, help, help."
The ride ended, and Maria could hear screaming coming from several rows behind her.
After of that, all the people of security say to the people on the lane, get out, get out.
When she got out, she saw the man slumped over, and there appeared to be blood on his shirt, and staff were scrambling to pull the restraint off of him.
That was horrible. On that moment, I think that I have like a attack panic.
Is there anything unusual about the ride itself or anything that happened on the ride before it stopped?
No.
As the Florida Department of Agriculture investigates, Universal is cooperating with the Orange County Sheriff's Office, adding in a statement that the park is devastated by this event. So still a lot of questions yet to be answered tonight, but just to recap the latest details that we got from the ME's office. This was 32-year-old Kevin Rodriguez Zavala. His death deemed an accident by the ME's office, died from multiple blunt impact injuries. In light of learning this latest information, we reached out to Universal to see if they would expand upon their earlier statement. We will let you know if and when we hear back. For now, we're outside Universal. I'm your Orlando community correspondent, Mike Valenti, News 6.
Mike, thank you. More breaking news now. This out of Kissimmee, where there is more turmoil in the police department.
After months of change following internal investigations, News 6 has learned the deputy chief of police is being put on administrative leave.
Osceola County community correspondent Laverne McGee has the latest on this. Laverne.
That's right. So Deputy Chief of Police Munoz was actually the interim chief after the former police chief, that was Betty Holland, was being investigated, and she ended up resigning. At that time, 4 police officers were fired. They were accused of covering up aggressive police tactics. Huge scandal here. Well, now Munoz is under investigation, but we don't know exactly what for. I actually recently interviewed him about a successful drug operation, and just yesterday I was here meeting with him, discussing what they're doing about crime in the area. No signs of any issues. Now, Deputy Chief Wilson Munoz has been with the force since 1999. He has been put on paid administrative leave while they're investigating. Once again, we're not being told anything else. A spokesperson confirmed that there is an internal investigation. They would not say what it is for. And of course, we are working to get more details on this. And as soon as we do, we will bring that to you. Reporting live in Kissimmee, I'm your Osceola County community correspondent, Laverne McGee, News 6.
Thank you, Laverne, for updates on breaking news stories. Make sure you have our News 6 app and breaking news alerts turned on. To get the app, you can scan the QR code on your screen or search WKMG in your app store.
Today, the city of Edgewater held a procession for one of its officers killed while off duty at a gas station. Officer David Juel's body was transported this morning from the medical examiner's office to be prepared for final rest. The procession took place on major roadways around Volusia County, including International Speedway Boulevard, Indian Lake Road, and State Road 44. Meantime, the man accused of shooting and killing Officer Juel was in court today. Eduardo Machado's defense team wants to seal his confession to killing the officer from the public. His attorney argued that sealing his confession would give him a better chance to a fair trial. The judge agreed to seal it, but that confession had already been released to the media in his arrest report. In that arrest report, Machado told deputies he was having a bad day and was thinking about shooting Juel on the way to work. But now those documents with those confessions will now be sealed from the public's request.
My effort is nothing should be released to the public that is anything close to a confession until such time as this court has a chance to determine whether or not it's a confession.
Machado also submitted a written not guilty plea. He is back in court in 1 month for his arraignment.
Newly released dash cam video shows the pursuit in Flagler County in which deputies say suspects connected to a crime in St. Johns County crashed head-on into another car while trying to get away. We told you when it happened Tuesday afternoon. Investigators say a 71-year-old bystander was killed in this. News 6's Catherine Silver is speaking to the sheriff's office tonight about their pursuit policy and the review that's now underway.
Dash cam video from the Flagler County Sheriff's Office shows the high-speed pursuit in progress. Deputies chasing this gray Chevrolet Suburban Tuesday. They had already deployed stop sticks that didn't work on the anti-deflating tires. They keep chasing all the way to the intersection of I-95 and US 1, where you see the suspect's SUV driving the wrong way up the exit ramp, hitting another vehicle head-on.
Vehicle to signal for.
A 71-year-old woman from Ormond Beach was killed.
The actions of those criminals that day are what caused this event. It was not anything else except their poor choices that they made along the way that actually killed an innocent bystander.
Thursday, Chief of Staff Mark Strobridge echoed the sheriff's statement that the deadly crash was a direct result of the suspect's decisions. But the department will also be conducting a complete review.
We have people doing oversight as a result of everything that's going on. We have today the benefit of seeing it as it had already occurred.
We can also hear what conversations happened on the radio. The communication that is critical and outlined in this pursuit policy. It says a supervisor must decide if the danger to the public outweighs the need to continue the chase. It also says a chase is warranted if there's reason to believe the suspect committed a felony. In this case, the sheriff's office says 3 burglary suspects from St. Johns County were in that Chevrolet.
There's radio traffic going on, there's body cam, there's decisions that are being made by different individuals out there that we have to really drill down deeply to see what could we do better, and we will do what is necessary to do it better next time.
In Flagler County, Catherine Silver, News 6.
Well, we are tracking a few showers across Central Florida tonight.
Meteorologist Jonathan Kegis is pinpointing what you can expect.
Yeah, I think the evening tomorrow, or tonight, I should say, is going to be a lot better than what we've had over the past couple of nights, especially south of Orlando, the further north you've been over the past couple of days. It's been pretty dry, all things considered. We do have a couple of very light showers, a stray downpour pushing through Grant, Valkyria now, coming into Melbourne Shores, Malabar. Good evening. We're on the drier side now, but a stray shower just sneaking down the east side of town. Same for Palm Bay. Melbourne, good evening. We are dry right now, but we're going to run the risk really along the coast tonight for just a stray quick hitting downpour to slide in off the Atlantic. The further west you are of the Atlantic Ocean, the drier you're going to be. There are a few itty-bitty downpours. There was one around Dr. Phillips that has kind of pushed down I-4 tonight and fizzled out. We're getting some drier air in the mid-levels of our atmosphere. That's going to continue to push back through, and I think rain chances going down even further tomorrow. So good news for most of the high school football games tomorrow night. By 7 o'clock, just a stray opportunity for a downpour in the mix, and then really the only opportunity I see beyond 7, 8 o'clock tonight is going to be right along the coast. We're going to pinpoint that further and talk about your weekend coming up at about 5:17, guys.
Jonathan, thank you. Well, one family desperate for justice. Yesterday, News 6 was the first to tell you of a family's lawsuit pushing for changes following a deadly Christmas-time shooting at a local mall.
Tonight, we are hearing from that family. News 6 reporter Juel Baker joins us now live. And Juel, the victim's fiance has been pushing for changes while also waiting for the criminal justice system to bring this case to trial.
Yeah, that's exactly right. Now, Marcia Harrison says that she and her 3 boys haven't been back to the mall since the tragic day. Now, Barron was taken from them. Now, the man, Albert Shell, that you see right here, is charged with targeting David Barron and chasing him. The 40-year-old Barron ran at one point trying to fight Shell before being gunned down after the shooting. Now, Shell fled the area and was on the run for weeks before his arrest in January of 2024. Now, a year and a half later, Shell remains in the county jail. His trial still months away. Now, for Barron's fiance, losing her father, the father of her 3 children, has taken a toll on her family as they want justice.
We love and we miss David very much. You know, we've had definitely our ups and downs. It's been pretty challenging, just kind of, nurturing the boys through this. And it's been really hard. So we're looking for justice.
Now, the state plans to seek the death penalty for Shell, who's facing several charges, including first-degree murder. A pretrial hearing is set for next month. In the newsroom, Juel Baker.
All right, Juel, thank you. Well, this spooky season might be extra frightful to your wallet.
Yeah, next at 5, how experts say tariffs are already impacting prices this year. And later, the new developments being announced at 2 Central Florida theme parks. You're watching News 6 at 5. We'll be right back.
Today's Port Canaveral Cam is sponsored by Launch Credit Union.
Well, if you still need to figure out your Halloween costume, you still have some time. The tricks or treating It's now 6 weeks from tomorrow. But the biggest frights may actually be coming at the cash register this year.
So tariffs are making prices for Halloween goods extra scary this year, impacting everything from candy to costumes. CBS's Omar Villafranca gives us a look at just how much.
Spooky season has hit retail stores. And the most frightening thing on the shelf for Halloween shoppers might be the price tag.
Flapper, Gatsby parties.
Derek Kennedy owns Magic Etc. Fort Worth Costume in North Texas. From masks and makeup to costumes, the Halloween season accounts for at least 25% of his yearly sales. This year, Kennedy says the tariffs have had a terrifying effect, like slower shipping times and higher wholesale prices.
Most of the costumes are made overseas, and through the different manufacturers, the tariffs have ranged anywhere from 5% to 19%. There's been not a steady one.
The National Retail Federation expects Halloween spending to hit a record $13.1 billion this year, breaking the previous record of $12.2 billion.
We've seen actually a big focus on discount stores this year. People are aware of what's going on with tariffs, and they're going to invest in what's important to them, but they're also going to be very smart with their money.
There's disco ones, there's leprechaun ones, there's Easter ones.
Kennedy is trying a new trick, treating his loyal shoppers to low prices by absorbing most of the cost of tariffs.
Even though there was a surcharge at the bottom of an invoice of $300, $500, $700 sometimes, I kind of ignored it this year and just tried to price like normal because, you know, people only have so much money to spend.
Are you eating it?
Yeah.
But for some items like fog machines, the price jump is just too big for Kennedy to take on.
I hate to say it, but this machine last year at the same time was $58.
This one right here?
Yes, and now it's $74.
Early shopper Nicole Ruiz says tariffs won't put a damper on her Halloween.
You can be scary, you can be like beautiful, you can be funny, and it's just, I think it's just a great time for everybody to celebrate.
The National Confectioners Association says Americans spent more than $7 billion on Halloween candy last year, and that trend looks to continue, but the prices will be a little bit higher. If you're the house on the block that hands out the full candy bars, a 48-count box was around $40 last year, but now it's well over $50, so plan accordingly. Omar Villafranca, CBS News, Fort Worth, Texas.
Kids are getting the minis this year.
I was just going to say,
right?
Maybe just get one
Scale
candy bar
them
and give
back.
people a little piece.
Just cut it up as they come to the door.
Kit Kat, yeah.
All right, well, the latest consumer price index shows candy is up more than 8%, but experts say that could creep up to 10% as we get closer to Halloween.
Of course it will. All right, we want to check in now with meteorologist Jonathan Kagas. Nothing too scary about our weather right now, Jonathan.
No. Can you use the stuff you got on sale after last Halloween?
No.
Check us out. Is that a bad thing? If there's any left?
No Easter candy at
Not
Halloween.
that either.
Yeah.
It might look kind of weird in the Easter and the Halloween basket. We have just a couple of showers out there. Edgewater, we were talking about you about 15 minutes ago. That downpour that came through, it's pretty much fizzled out as it continues back to the west. You can track these few showers we have out there right now with the free News 6 weather app. The best part, there's a lot of best parts about it. You can submit your pictures right to us inside of the app. Again, all of that is a free download. We love to see them and showcase them right here on TV. Again, the shower I was tracking for you guys and Dr. Phillips, that has also fizzled out. We have evidence of some drier air coming back into play, and that's going to mean a good end to the work week. So great for high school football tomorrow night. Grant Valcaria still tracking some rain for you. That is going to pass on the west side of I-95 momentarily. And then I'm just going to be watching right along the coast through the evening for a few straight downpours. This is what I'm talking about. 7 to 8 o'clock tonight. Most of us are going to be dry this evening. We're going to watch a few of these try to sneak on shore through the evening and overnight. And then as we move into tomorrow morning, there's 4 to 5 o'clock in the morning, we're going to watch some of the drier air come back through. So notice how for us in Ocala, through Bushnell, Coleman, Lake Panasoffkee, we don't even have many clouds around as the drier air comes in from west to east. That's going to put the focal point for any kind of downpours close to I-95 and the Atlantic beaches tomorrow. It's really the only shot for any kind of rain pushing through for high school football going to be right along the I-95 corridor, and I think lightning chances are limited at best. So I think all things considered, we're looking pretty good tomorrow. There's 11 o'clock on your Friday night. Things also looking pretty dry. It's a live look outside in downtown Orlando with our Light Orlando delivering Hope Skycam this evening. The breeze out of the east-northeast at about 13 miles an hour. Air temperatures right now into the middle 80s. Temperatures across the board into the low 80s in New Smyrna Beach, Groveland. Good evening. We're at 85. Wildwood, we are at 88 degrees. Now here's a look at tomorrow.
Your forecast is sponsored by Payne Law.
High temperatures pretty much right where we should be. Back to the upper 80s. Rain chances at about 30% tomorrow. And I think most of that is going to focus on the east side of Central Florida and closer to I-95. Even then, it's just a little quick hitting shower or two coming through. Bithlo, Wedgefield, good evening. Pinpointing your forecast, 20% shot for a shower by lunchtime. Same deal by 2. Again, most of us are going to be on the drier side. And I think really the same thing going into your weekend. We'll have a 30% chance for a few showers, especially along the coast again with a breeze out of the east off of the Atlantic. 40% chance for showers, maybe a rumble of thunder on Sunday. By and large, I think things are looking pretty good. Over the next 7 days, rain chances at 30% through Saturday, up a smidge on Sunday. Still looking pretty good. Certainly not going to ruin any of your outdoor plans. Right around 90 degrees on Monday. We're going to keep things in the lower 90s as we get to the early part of next work week, guys.
Jonathan, thank you. We'll take a look at this incredible drone shot of last night's sunset. Looks like another planet, huh? This is taking over the Halifax River in Ormond by the Sea yesterday evening. You could see that fiery orange sky reflecting off the water. Can you believe we get to live here?
Aren't we lucky?
We are.
It is beautiful. Now, if you capture something remarkable like this, be sure to send it to us. Open your camera app, scan the QR code on your screen right now, and click the link to submit your photos and videos. You can also go to clickorlando.com/pins. They could end up on TV. We have had some spectacular sunsets lately.
We have some real artists on pennant.
Well, after the break, the new details we are learning about a holiday celebration at the happiest place on earth.
Your Thursday evening traffic alert. We'll see the lane closures. Tonight's going to be a night of lane closures. Just make sure you're paying attention to I-4 east and westbound by Maitland and on top of Maitland as well. We'll see the routine stuff along I-4 between the Turnpike Kirkman area down towards State Route 528, but we're not scheduled for any major shutdowns. And then southbound along the Florida Turnpike down in Osceola County. Watch out for the kind of left and right lane closures. They kind of have you zigzagging overnight. Everything will remain open, but active construction zone. I'm Trooper Steve with your News 6 traffic alert. Drive safely. I'll catch you in the morning.
Here's a live look at downtown Orlando from our Light Orlando Delivering Hope camera. You're watching News 6 at 5. We'll be right back.
Disney has announced the list of celebrity narrators for the 2025 season of Epcot's Candlelight Processional.
Boy, this one is star-studded, as usual, among the new narrators: Jennifer Gardner, Henry Winkler, and Brie Larson. Ralph Macchio, Gary Sinise, Brendan Fraser, and Louis Fonzi are returning, along with a number of others. The narrators join a 50-piece orchestra, choirs, and the Voices of Liberty in the retelling of the Christmas story. The narrators will be at the shows running from November 28th to December 30th. You can find the full list at clickorlando.com. While you're there, subscribe to our In the Loop Theme Park Scoops newsletter. We send updates on all of Central Florida's theme parks to your inbox every Friday morning.
And those updates include at SeaWorld, which just announced a new attraction. 3 acres of the park will be transformed into Sea Quest, Legends of the Deep, a first of its kind, family-friendly thrill ride. The ride vehicle will be suspended below the track so it can move smoothly in different directions. It will be SeaWorld's 4th new ride in 4 years when it opens in 2026.
They are pumping out the rides. Well, Orange County leaders are trying to figure out how to divvy up the votes in 2 counties. We're speaking to those who live there about how they feel about that whole process.
Plus, public health officials are discussing what to do about 2 common childhood vaccines, how their decision could impact your ability to get those vaccines.
And later, the plans in the works to resolve issues left behind from severe flooding.
Glad you're with us. I'm Lisa Bell.
I'm Matt Austin. You're watching News 6 at 5. We're following several top stories right now. A death investigation at Universal's Epic Universe. 32-year-old man named Kevin Zavala died after riding Stardust racers. We learned from the medical examiner's office the cause of death is multiple blunt impact injuries. Today, the roller coaster was closed while a state investigator looked into what happened. Universal says it's fully cooperating with the Orange County Sheriff's Office.
Kissimmee Police Department's deputy chief is the subject of an internal investigation. As a result, Wilson Munoz has now been placed on administrative paid leave. He's been with the department since July of 1999. So far, they've not said anything else about the investigation. The man accused of killing Edgewater police officer David Juel was in court today. Eduardo Machado's defense team wants to seal his confession to killing him, arguing it would give him a better chance at a fair trial. The judge agreed to seal it. However, that confession was already released to the media in his arrest report. Machado also submitted a written not guilty plea.
Two maps remain after months of reviewing 30 redistricting maps in Orange County. Voters approved bumping up the county's districts from 6 to 8 last year, but neighbors are split on how the maps will impact two areas in particular, Winter Park and Pine Hills. As Pine Hills community correspondent Juel Baker shows us, people living in both areas are making their case to Orange County leaders.
This is about unite, not disunite. Map 1 unites all the cities combined together.
Map 7B puts and keeps that community together. And it will literally, technically speaking, probably the first time that's happened.
Residents pleading their case, explaining why either Map 1A or 7B should be selected as Orange County's new district map. The county's expanding from 6 commission districts to 8, so each commissioner will now represent about 178,000 people. The divide is mostly caused by how it impacts Pine Hills and Winter Park.
Even though Winter Park is a municipality, the people of Winter Park will still vote in the same election as the people of Pine Hills. And that may potentially skew a commissioner's focus.
Map 1A lumps Pine Hills with Winter Park, Maitland, and Eatonville. Pine Hills advocates believe that would weaken their voice. The alternative, Map 7B, would put Pine Hills with Maitland, Eatonville, and Orla Vista in District 7 and would leave Winter Park in District 5 with more rural areas. Winter Park Mayor Sheila DeCizio believes that urban areas share similar needs and should be put together.
Our shared call center with Maitland Police assists from both jurisdictions when needed. We also share elementary school district Domerick with Maitland.
In a statement to News 6, Winter Park City Manager Randy Knight said that Map 7B would place Winter Park in a district that stretches all the way to the Brevard County line. But Dr. Sandra Fatme Hall with the Pine Hills Community Council says that the map connects them with neighborhoods with similar challenges.
You know, when you have a city and you have city dollars and you have county dollars, we don't have that at all. And I think that would be an issue.
County leaders will make their final decision next month. In Orange County, Juel Baker, News 6.
2 common childhood vaccines are being examined by the CDC's Advisory Committee on Immunization Practices, the hepatitis B shot and a combined MMRV shot.
Any changes could alter insurance coverage and cast doubt on the safety and effectiveness of them. CBS's Erica Brown is following the discussions from Washington.
There was pushback during today's meeting of the CDC's Vaccine Advisory Committee as the panel debated a new recommendation for the combined MMRV shot.
But if a parent wants to get a single dose, why are we taking away that option?
The proposal, children under 4 should get 1 shot for measles, mumps, and rubella, and then a separate one for varicella, better known as chickenpox.
This recommendation is going to create more confusion among the public.
Earlier this year, Health and Human Services Secretary Robert F. Kennedy Jr. fired all the panel members and picked their replacements, some who share his vaccine skepticism. Thursday, the committee chairman defended the new group.
You have falsely been called anti-vaxxers. But your stance is not only pro-children, but also pro-science, pro-public health, and pro-vaccines.
Here on Capitol Hill, the fired CDC director told lawmakers she was pressured by Secretary Kennedy to rubber stamp the committee's recommendations without first considering the scientific evidence.
He just wanted blanket approval.
The panel is also debating changes to the hepatitis B vaccine recommendation.
Much of the data is considered pretty settled.
Dr. Jody Guest is the senior vice chair of the Department of Epidemiology at Emory University. She says these vaccines are safe and effective.
And there's not new evidence out there that we have been following that would show that you would want to change the guidance.
Dr. Guest also warns any changes could lead to health insurance companies limiting coverage. Erica Brown, CBS News, Washington.
A National Trade Association representing the health insurance industry in the U.S. released a statement about access and coverage in response to the rollback. America's health insurance plans said in part, quote, health plans will continue to cover all ACIP recommended immunizations, included updated formulations of the COVID-19 and influenza vaccines. It goes on to say, while health plans continue to operate in an environment shaped by federal and state laws, the evidence-based approach to coverage of immunizations will remain consistent. In Brevard County, a family dispute led to an hours-long standoff between a man barricading himself at a home and the SWAT team. Cocoa police say 51-year-old Charles Hopkins is accused of getting into a fight with his uncle over that home on Polaris Street and threatened to shoot his family. Cocoa's police chief said Hopkins' mother died, and now he and his uncle just can't agree on who takes ownership of the house. After 5 hours, Hopkins surrendered to the relief of neighbors who stood outside watching.
It was very scary of all these guns and all the smoke and gas, but it's good he made it out. They got him out.
Hopkins faces a charge of aggravated assault with a deadly weapon with domestic violence.
Now to an update to a story we first brought you yesterday. Orlando police confirmed to News 6 they are conducting an investigation into numerous individuals at the Hankins building. That's at 319 South Paramore Avenue. And they executed a search warrant at that building yesterday. Orlando community correspondent Mike Valenti was at the building yesterday as well, after it was condemned last week when code enforcement and police learned as many as 19 people may have been living there despite it being meant for commercial use only. The building is historic. It was built in 1947 as one of the first places for Black professionals in this city. A second person is now facing charges after Charlie Kirk's death. Immediately after Kirk was shot, video was making the rounds on social media showing a man being detained. The Utah Sheriff's Office says they took in 70-year-old George Zinn, who they say began yelling, quote, "I shot him, now shoot me," after Kirk was shot. Officials say he later admitted he only said that, quote, so the real suspect could get away. Zinn was charged with felony obstruction of justice in that case. He's also been charged with sexual exploitation of a minor, although it appears to be an unrelated case.
Well, it's official. Lynx is out. Scout is in. Seminole County's new mass transit held its soft launch today, giving a preview of the new micro transit, as they call it. The county made the decision to move to Scout, saying it would improve mobility and service by giving people more options, by moving away from those fixed traditional routes. While Access Lynx will still operate in Seminole County, the Scout buses will connect to Lynx outside of the county. Inside Seminole, it's all Scout.
This is going to pick you up at your doorstep, and it's going to drop you off at your destination doorstep. So there's no more worrying about how do I get to the bus stop, how do I stand out there, how long am I standing out there, and is the bus coming?
Full service is set to begin in October, with trips costing between $4 and $14, depending on how far you travel.
Well, could we be seeing some space activity on the Texas coast soon? SpaceX posted these photos on social media yesterday, showing their massive Starship rocket has been moved to the launch pad at Starbase for pre-flight testing. Starship had its 10th flight last month. No word on when the 11th test flight may happen. But there are more and more signs SpaceX's most powerful rocket may be coming to our Space Coast sooner rather than later. The company put out a major update today on bringing their spaceports into the future. It says in the near term, they are planning to build additional launch pads in Florida for Starship. SpaceX's CEO Elon Musk posted on social media earlier this week referencing a water ship to transport spaceship from Starbase to Cape Canaveral. However, a number of Brevard County residents say they do not want Starship. Space Coast community correspondent James Barbero spoke with them at an FAA meeting about Starship's expansion a few weeks ago. You can find that story at clickorlando.com. Just search Starship.
Focusing on the now, another 24 satellites were sent into orbit early this morning from the Space Coast. SpaceX launched 28 Starlink satellites from Cape Canaveral Space Force Station at 5:30 this morning. We know at least some people woke up to catch it. Gregory sent us this photo of that Falcon 9 rocket blasting up into the air. This was from his front yard. Whenever you take photos or videos of launches, the weather, or news you see, be sure to send them to us. You can take out your phone, scan the QR code on your screen, and go to clickorlando.com/pins.
After years of dealing with flooding concerns, help could finally be on the way for some Seminole County residents. We'll show you the improvements being voted on tonight. Jonathan.
Most of us are dry through the evening, just running the risk of a quick hitting shower or downpour, especially closer to the Space Coast. Grand Falcon area, we're getting rid of our downpour as we speak. Just a stray shower right in smack dab in the middle of Lake County. We'll pinpoint the forecast for the rest of tonight, tomorrow, and into your weekend at about 5:47.
And later, the big changes that could be coming to a busy road in Osceola County. Take a break from those summer reruns. Try out the all-new prime time schedule on News 6 Plus. Ginger and I have a new take on the day's news on News 6 tonight. That's at 9. Go in-depth as we track the tropics and answer weather questions with meteorologist Jonathan Kagas at 9:30. Then watch the late news an hour early. It's all tonight on News 6 Plus. You can download our streaming app for free. Search WKMG in your smart TV's app store. It's on Roku, Apple, and Fire. Well, it's been nearly 2 weeks since this scene along the Little Wekiva River. Heavy rain caused the water to quickly rise. While it's gone back down, neighbors are worried the next storm could be even worse than this.
News 6's Mark Lehman is in Altamont Springs, where the city is working on a plan to repair damage along the river's banks.
Here along the Little Wekiva, the river is calm now, which is a far cry from what we saw earlier this month when the water was much higher. Leaders in Altamont Springs know this has been a problem for years, and that's why they're looking to get the ball rolling on a long-planned flood control project.
You know, there's nothing we can do because when it floods, it's just going to keep getting ruined.
For Heather Zaradnik, living near the Little Wekiva River is a constant concern.
And we've tried to, protect it with sandbags, but you can see our everything's just eroded away.
We first met Heather nearly a year ago when her home was surrounded by water in the wake of Hurricane Milton. The Spring Oaks neighborhood has long had problems with the river overflowing from heavy rain, even earlier this month when it briefly reached minor flood stage from passing storms.
If we would have had a hurricane come directly after that rainstorm and the river was still high, I would have been extremely worried.
Now, a plan is in the works to repair damage from previous storms. Tonight, Altamont Springs is voting to approve hiring a company for a $3 million project.
We know they can't stop it, but if they could do anything that would maybe, keep it from coming into our homes, that would be great.
If approved, the work includes installing barriers to control erosion along the riverbank. The goal is to replace the soil that's been lost and to be better prepared for when the river rises again.
Honestly, if it wasn't for the flooding, this could be our forever home.
So far, full details on this project haven't been released, and a timetable also has not been established. Commissioners will be voting on funding for this plan during their meeting at 7 tonight. In Altamont Springs, Mark Lehman, News 6.
Mark, thank you. And unfortunately, the last thing a lot of people need right now is even more rain.
Yeah.
But we are getting some of it right now.
Just a little bit. I mean, just sprinkles. Most of us are dry through the evening. There's just a few specks on there. I want to show you a couple of cool pictures from this morning. You saw the SpaceX one from earlier. We'll take you back up the road to Sanford. Victoria sent in this great shot from Sanford here. You can see the shadow here. The sun's rays coming through that cloud right down the street there. It's blocking out the view of the sunrise, and it's causing that effect right there. So thank you, Victoria, for sending that in. She submitted that through Pin It. Click Orlando.com/pins or on the free on the free News 6 weather app, or you can go to clickorlando.com/pins. There it is right there. Taking it through the rest of the evening again, just a stray sprinkle in the mix. Right there we have one pushing to the west of Lake Apopka. This is just north of us in Claremont, just north of us in Mascot and Groveland as well. I'll put the loop on for you so you can see how this came to be. And again, that little sprinkle we were tracking over the turnpike about 15 minutes ago has turned into a downpour, so Mascot, early heads up. There's no lightning with this or anything like that. Just a heads up that you're going to get wet for just a few minutes, and then it's going to fizzle out and push away from you. Miko, good evening. We are dry right now, but on the west side of town, pushing to the west side of I-95, we have that downpour leaving us tonight. I think most of us, again, are going to be on the dry side for your evening. Really spot I'm only watching along into the right along the I-95 corridor. Also just a stray downpour through the I-75 corridor. Otherwise, we're pretty dry. That's 2 o'clock in the morning. A few of those guys could sneak on shore again, and then some drier air starts to plunge in. You can see that there. There's 6, 7 o'clock in the morning. When you're watching Chief Meteorologist Candace Campos, you see the dry air. There's kind of the carving out of the clouds. So I think a nice sunny start for most of us tomorrow. And then you see kind of that curl back of some of that moisture as we have our breeze off of the Atlantic to give us extra clouds along into the east of I-4. And then a couple of stray downpours trying to push back in off the Atlantic. Otherwise, I think a lot of us are dry. High school football tomorrow looks pretty good with the exception of that stray downpour possible right along the coast. I think lightning chances are fairly low tomorrow, all things considered. Port Canaveral, Brevard County live look. We have some gray skies out there with our Launch Credit Union camera this evening. Air temperatures in the low 80s. A few showers again being reported on the Space Coast this afternoon or this evening. 85 right now in Orlando. Good evening in Kissimmee. We are at 86. Palm Bay, we're checking in at 83. Now here's a look at tomorrow.
Your forecast is sponsored by Publix.
Temperatures tomorrow back to the upper 80s, pretty much right where we should be for this time of the year. Rain chances at 30%. the best opportunity, and that's a relative sense, is going to be right along the coast. Latest on Tropical Storm Gabrielle, it is not looking healthy. Thankfully, this is not coming to the United States, certainly not coming to Florida, but it's just now trying to get a thunderstorm back. It had that naked swirl pretty much all afternoon. Again, Gabrielle is going to be a non-issue for pretty much everybody. Might make a close brush with Bermuda, but that's about it. And again, it is battered tonight. 88 tomorrow, 89 on Saturday. Rain chances only at 30%. 40% shot for storms on Sunday. We'll see temperatures get back into the lower 90s, guys, early next work week.
All right, Jonathan, thank you. Well, after the break, the new improvements coming to a major road in Osceola County. Then, coming up at 6, with rent nearly tripling in 1 year, neighbors in one community are fighting back in court. News 6 investigator Louis Bolden is looking into lot rents.
Coming up in the morning, helping local students with their mental health.
The latest high school rolling out a new resource for teens and how it's already getting results for kids.
Plus, your weather and traffic every 10 minutes.
We'll see you for News 6 mornings starting at 6.
And here's a live look at Mount Dora. You're watching News 6 at 5. We'll be right back. Major changes could be coming to US 192 in Osceola County. Today, the state hosted an open house to give the public a chance to see the proposed improvements. And as Osceola County community correspondent Stephanie Rodriguez found out, many people are already on board.
The project would resurface a big chunk of 192 while also improving traffic flow at this heavily used turnpike exit at Cross Prairie Parkway.
It's really busy, to be honest. It takes like an hour to just get to St. Cloud.
People who've taken 192 in Osceola County know how bad congestion can get.
That's why I don't drive often, because I take the freeways because it's so packed all the time.
The Florida Department of Transportation is eyeing updates like resurfacing it from Main Street all the way to Aeronautical Drive.
192 is really bad, so anything they could do to help out, it'll be great, fantastic.
It's also focusing on the Turnpike exit to 192 that's often backed up. The project would add a new lane that drivers can use to go straight or left.
That would help a lot, to be honest. It would help the traffic go smoothly, and the road needs it.
How helpful would an extra lane off the turnpike be? Very helpful. Like, a lot.
The open house is at 5:30 tonight at the Hart Memorial Central Library in Kissimmee. There's also a virtual option. We'll have more information on the open house at clickorlando.com. I'm your Osceola County community correspondent, Stephanie Rodriguez, News 6.
And sticking on the roads, we are listening to your concerns about one stretch that a number of people say is a big problem.
Apopka community correspondent Justin Warmoth heard a lot of people talking about speed concerns on Binion Road. So Trooper Steve went on patrol there today to check out how much of a problem it is.
The speed limit out here, for the majority of it, is 45 miles an hour. I've been sitting here for an hour already getting some work done, and some of y'all are flying. So what I want to do first is just observe some traffic. We got 155. So yeah, they're cooking. This one, 60 miles an hour. 15 over the speed limit there in the second vehicle. And the thing was, he hit the brakes so hard. He's like, 15 over, that was, I could say this, it's been a long time, guys. It's not like I'm getting in the car writing tickets. 15 over was we're talking. If we're out here in a 45 zone and you're doing 60 miles an hour, you want to meet the law enforcement in your community.
I'd say that's safe to say 15 over for sure. Hit the road with Trooper Steve on patrol weekday mornings at 10, live on the News 6 Plus streaming app for your smart TV or clickorlando.com.
We have much more coming up on News 6 at 6.
Including continuing coverage of some breaking news from Epic Universe. A man has died after riding the Stardust Racers. Some new information about what went wrong, and hear from a woman who was on the ride when it happened. And a former police officer is remembered after his suspected shooter makes a request to have his confession sealed from the public. And here's a live look at downtown Orlando from our Light Orlando Delivering Hope camera. You're watching News 6. We'll be right back.
That was a horrible thing that I have, like attack panic.
Now at 6, a woman retelling the moments a man died after riding one of Central Florida's newest roller coasters, where the investigation stands. Plus, remembering a fallen officer in Edgewater, the community mourns together as the suspected killer appears in court. And
I'm lucky if I have money for groceries.
fighting back what people in one community are doing as the cost of the land their homes sit on skyrockets. News 6 at 6 starts now. We begin with breaking news tonight. The man who was found unresponsive after riding the Stardust Racers roller coaster at Epic Universe last night died of multiple blunt impact injuries. That's according to a report released today by the medical examiner. Stardust Racers is described as one of Universal's main attractions, right in the middle of Epic Universe. It is a dual launch racing coaster. That means 2 cars go at the same time. Those cars can reach speeds up to 62 miles an hour and a height of 133 feet over 5,000 feet of track. Your Orlando community correspondent Mike Valenti has been following this all day. He has more on what we're learning tonight.
There are still a lot of questions yet to be answered about what exactly happened to 32-year-old Kevin Rodriguez Zavala while riding the Stardust Racers roller coaster. He died of multiple blunt impact injuries. Among those asking these pressing questions is a tourist from Colombia. We met her Thursday, and she was on the same ride at the same time as Zavala, and understandably, she's still quite shaken up.
Horrible what I see. I can't understand how that happens.
With her vacation winding to a close, Colombian native Maria Fernandez decided to experience Stardust Racers for the 4th time of the night Wednesday. Her family took this video while she was on the ride, minutes before things took a frightening turn.
One girl started to say, "Help, help, help."
The ride ended, and Maria could hear screaming coming from several rows behind her.
After of that, all the people of security say to the people on the lane, get out, get out.
When she got out, she saw the man slumped over, and there appeared to be blood on his shirt, and staff were scrambling to pull the restraint off of him.
That was horrible. On that moment, I think that I have like attack panic.
Is there anything unusual about the ride itself or anything that happened on the ride before it stopped?
No.
As the Florida Department of Agriculture investigates, Universal is cooperating with the Orange County Sheriff's Office, adding in a statement that the park is devastated by this event. In light of the latest information that we received from the medical examiner's office, we reached out again to Universal, and we will let you know when we hear back. Reporting from outside Universal, I'm Mike Valenti, your Orlando community correspondent, News 6.
And this is not the first incident to occur at Epic Universe. According to the Florida Department of Agriculture and Consumer Services, on May 5th, a 32-year-old man suffered chest pain on Hiccups wing gliders. And then in June, there were 2 incidents on Stardust Racers. A 63-year-old man reported dizziness after riding. And 2 days later, a 47-year-old woman had visual numbness. Both of those people had pre-existing conditions. Now, for the latest updates on breaking stories, make sure you have our News 6 app, and you can have the breaking news alerts turned on there. The app is free. Just search WKMG in your app store. New tonight, a deputy chief is on administrative leave. The Kissimmee Police Department says Wilson Munoz is off the job right now with pay. They tell us it's part of an internal investigation. Your Osceola County community correspondent Laverne McGee is at the station now with more. Laverne?
That's right, Matt. Deputy Chief Munoz was the interim police chief. You'll remember after a huge scandal, former Chief of Police Betty Holland was investigated and then ended up resigning. 4 police officers were fired. All of them were accused of covering up aggressive police tactics. Now, Munoz is under investigation right now, but they're not telling us what for. I recently interviewed him about a successful drug operation, and just yesterday I was here meeting with him, discussing what they're doing about crime in the area. I didn't see any signs of issues. The deputy chief Wilson Munoz. He's been with the force since 1999. He's been put once again on administrative leave while they're investigating. We're not being told anything else. Again, that spokesperson confirmed it is an internal investigation. They will not say what for, but of course we will be digging into it. As soon as we get any details, we will let you know. Reporting live in Kissimmee, I'm your Osceola County Community Correspondent, Laverne McGee, News 6.
Laverne, thank you. Turning to your forecast now. So far, it's been a really nice night. The rain holding off, but will it return? That's the big question. Meteorologist Jonathan Kagas is tracking it all.
Yeah, just a couple of little downpours out there. Few and far between, to say the least. Right now, a nice clean sweep across most of Central Florida. That one downpour we've been tracking through Lake County is moving into Mascot as we speak, and that's going to continue to work through southern Sumter County, then eventually fizzle out as it moves closer to the Gulf Coast. A couple of other teeny tiny downpours over the Atlantic tonight. That's really the best opportunity. Best is a relative term to get wet tonight, as we have the breeze off of the Atlantic. We'll generate a few quick hitting downpours through the rest of your evening. Otherwise, we are nice and quiet. 81 at the Cape right now. We're at 87 degrees in Leesburg. Good evening at Palm Coast. We're at 83 just down the road in Daytona Beach. We're checking in at 82. Again, just a stray opportunity for a downpour through the evening. We're back to the upper 70s by 9. The mugginess has returned. We're back to the mid-70s overnight. We'll talk about that weekend forecast at about 6:17.
Jonathan, thank you. Remembering the life and legacy of former Edgewater police officer David Juel, the community coming together to pay their respects after he was shot more than 20 times at a gas station while off duty. Officer Juel was escorted by his family and members of law enforcement. Here's some video sent to us by the New Smyrna Beach Police Department. The procession took place on major roads around Volusia County, including International Speedway Boulevard, Indian Lake Road, and State Road 44. Meantime, the man accused of shooting and killing Officer Juel was in court today. Eduardo Machado's defense team wanting to seal his confession to killing the officer from the public. Your Volusia County community correspondent Molly Reed was in that hearing today. She has the judge's decision.
With all of the media and public attention on this case already, Eduardo Machado's defense attorney argued that sealing his confession or any statements along the lines of a confession would give him a better chance to a fair trial. There was just one issue with that. We already have a summary of basically what he confessed.
My effort is nothing should be released to the public that is anything close to a confession until such time as this court has a chance to determine whether or not it's a confession.
And now 24-year-old Eduardo Machado's confession to killing Officer David Juel is going to be sealed, no longer accessible to the public.
Any alleged confessions from Mr. Machado are not subject to release pursuant to public records law.
The sheriff says Monday, Machado, a cashier at the Ormond by the Sea Circle K, shot and killed Juel, all caught on surveillance video. Juel was off duty and stopped into the store by his family's house. Video shows Juel at the counter, Machado walk in and then raise the gun. Just after Machado's arrest this week, this is what Sheriff Mike Chitwood told us.
He has confessed that he knows the difference between right and wrong. He said that he had an argument with police officer Juel, but he doesn't know when that argument occurred or what that argument was about.
The sheriff says Machado shot Juel 24 times and picked up the gun just 2 hours before the shooting. In the arrest report we have, Machado told deputies he was having a bad day, thought about shooting Juel before work, and, quote, walked into the store, did not say anything to the person, and shot him. Court records also showed that Machado entered a written plea of not guilty to his premeditated first-degree murder charge. He will be back in court for his arraignment next month. I'm your Volusia County community correspondent Molly Reed, News 6.
Attorney General James Uthmeyer in Jacksonville this afternoon to announce an update 1 month after filing an emergency rule to classify 7-O as a Schedule 1 controlled substance in Florida. Now, 7-O is a chemical compound found naturally in the Kratom plant, according to State Attorney's Office. Since the emergency ruling was filed on August 13th, there have been more than 17,000 seizures of packages. These packages contain a variety of these 7-O products, including gummies, energy drinks, vapes, pills, powders, all that stuff. While naturally occurring, levels are low in whole kratom leaves. However, isolated or concentrated forms of 7-O can be dangerous. Well, get ready for some airport-like operations at our Space Coast launch pads. SpaceX revealing today the future of space looks like multiple launches a day from multiple providers. The company says its Falcon rockets are already launching and landing every 2 days on average without blocking other companies, and in some cases, standing down from its launches to allow other providers more time, much like waiting airplanes on the runway. SpaceX says this vision involves doing significant research on acoustics, infrastructure, and operational technologies. The Falcon 9 rocket already on track to launch more than 100 times from Florida this year alone, with a launch early this morning adding to that tally. Much more ahead on News 6 at 6, including the fight over the cost of land. Up next, News 6 investigates a growing problem with owners of manufactured homes and what they're doing about it. Plus, could the future of affordable housing be on the way? The new piece of legislation aimed at taking advantage of what's being called granny flats. We'll explain.
This portion of the news is sponsored by Advent Health, helping the communities we serve to feel whole.
Granny flats might sound like kind of a funny term, but lawmakers say it could be the key to bringing down housing prices. This week, one state senator introduced State Bill 48. It would give homeowners the ability to lease out smaller portions of their homes, like attics, sheds, and garages. Under current laws, local governments have the choice whether or not to allow accessory dwelling units, they call them ADUs, often known as granny flats. This photo shows the different types of units. Current state law says each unit must have its own kitchen, bathroom, and sleeping areas separate from the primary home on the property. However, that new state bill would require local governments to allow them as housing rather than have the choice. Also, homeowners would not have to actually live at the property to rent out a unit. The bill will be taken up during the next legislative session in January. If passed and signed, it would take effect July 1st of next year. A similar bill, though, was proposed earlier this year, and it died. Well, the rent nearly tripling in 1 year. News 6 investigator Louis Bolden has been hearing from people all over Florida whose lot rent in the manufactured home communities is absolutely through the roof. So he headed to one county where neighbors are fighting back in court.
Gail Berghold's haven has become the source of her stress.
I had a stroke last year. You know, you just keep thinking about things at night when you're in bed or something, you know, it just...
And what are you thinking about?
How am I going to make it?
Berghold lives at the Highlands at Scotland Yards, a manufactured home community in Pasco County. She was paying around $600 a month in lot rent, but in January, her rent jumped to $1,300 a month.
I'm lucky if I have money for groceries.
To get out of the costly rent, Berghold put her home on the market twice with few offers, and she's not alone.
I should have gotten around $225 for my house. I have it listed right now for $179. I'm going to drop the price, and I'm going to drop the price until I can get out of it.
Donna Reed has been trying to sell her home as well as others in the same community. She used to sell one home a month, but since the rent increase, so far she's only sold 3 this year.
They'll say, what's the lot rent? And I'll say, oh, it's $1,441.59. And
yours?
They're like, are you crazy?
Reed and Berghold are among a group of residents now suing the property owner, Legacy Communities. The issue, a lot rent increase of up to 126%. Under Florida law, manufactured homeowners are allowed to request mediation with the property owners if there's a dispute over rent. During this mediation, both parties agreed to market rent, but residents claim 126% is far above what's allowed in their lease.
This prospectus has basically 2 different rents. One of them tries to keep you with CPI, Consumer Price Index. And the other one says that if you want to approach market rent and market rent is higher, you can do CPI plus 2%. So for this year, they should have had an increase of 5% versus 126%.
News 6 sent 7 emails over the course of 3 days to a person who represented herself as the media contact for Highlands at Scotland Yards. We asked pointedly more than once, can you explain the reason behind the significant increase in lot rent? We also asked for a comment on the pending lawsuit the residents filed. We were told the company president, Andrew Fells, wanted to have a call to provide context on background. But because we couldn't agree on a time and date, the company never answered our questions, then sent a statement reading, because of the pending lawsuit, Legacy will not comment.
What do you think about this statute that allows mediation? Because it didn't seem to help in this case. What do you think about the statute?
And in this case, it was used not as a shield for the community to protect themselves, but as a sword by the landowner.
Louis Bolden, News 6.
That is some crazy high land rent
Very
right there.
high.
All right, meteorologist Jonathan Kagas joining us now. So we felt a little fallish at one point.
Yep.
Starting to head back in the other direction now.
We are, yeah. You felt it last evening. You certainly felt it today. You walk outside, and it's like, all right, it's still September. It was just a taste. Cooler days are coming, though. Hey, today, we talked about this yesterday, Matt. Today was the last day, at least on an average temperature perspective. We averaged 90 degrees. So it's a sign, anyway, that the tables are turning, the corner is being turned. We do have a few stray downpours out there for heading out this evening. Again, just hanging around Mascot tonight. This is going to be pushing into Sumter County, and then also closer to Port Orange, New Smyrna Beach, a couple of downpours trying to push back on shore. That's really the spot I'm watching tonight, from about Palm Coast down to Palm Bay and Mico, for just a stray downpour to slide on shore. Most of us are dry, and if you do get wet tonight, it's going to be a quick hitting downpour, and that's it. You can track those downpours that are out there with the free News 6 weather app. Also, the latest forecast just been updated in that. You can dial that up right from the palm of your hand with that free News 6 weather app. 7 o'clock tonight. I think Future Radar's doing a nice job. Again, these little guys will be watching a couple of downpours developing off the Atlantic and then pushing towards the coast. You see that flare up a little bit overnight. Then you saw the little pinwheel out there. Area low pressure tries to get going. That kind of takes the moisture with it. You see by 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning, a lot of clear skies developing from I-4 and then back to us closer to I-75 from Denellen, Fort McCoy, Ocala, the Villages, and then that drier air starts to push in through the course of the afternoon. Now, there's 1 o'clock with that breeze off of the north and east. I think we'll see a couple of downpours try to develop right along the coastline. And then as we move into tomorrow evening, same deal. Note where the downpours are at, just right along the coast. Stopping this 7 o'clock, big time high school football tomorrow. Notice most of us are dry. The only opportunity for a shower or downpour, I think, is right along I-95. So the coastal games may have a quick hitting downpour. I don't think lightning is going to be a factor at all tomorrow. So at least we have that going for us. Cloudy skies in downtown Orlando. That's a live look with our Light Orlando delivering Hope Skycam. Temperatures back to the mid 80s. The breeze out of the east northeast at about 15 miles an hour tonight. We're at 82 in Holopop. Palm Bay, good evening. We're at 82. The Villages, we're checking in at 86. Now here's a look at tomorrow.
Sponsored by Strata Air Conditioning and Heating. AC emergency, you ought to call Strata.
Rain chances at 30% tomorrow. We're at 88 in Orlando, 87 in Cocoa Beach, 91 degrees in the Villages. Getting into the weekend, same kind of deal. Rain chances only at 30%. I think most of us are dry, especially to start the weekend. We'll keep rain chances, especially the highest, relatively speaking, right along the coast. Same deal on Sunday. We'll have an area of low pressure tried to develop along a little boundary there. And as it kind of shifts up to the north, that keeps our wind direction off of the Atlantic and tries to just push these quick hitting downpours back in, very similar to what we're seeing tonight and likely what we'll see again tomorrow. So again, rain chances aren't all that high, and the storm shouldn't be all that aggressive either. 30% shot over the next couple of days. We'll have a 40% chance for downpours on Sunday. A little bit warmer getting in the next week, guys. Low to mid 90s coming back.
All right, thank you, my friend. Sports Director Jamie Say is here. Jamie, will the Dolphins sink or will they swim tonight?
Well, I can tell you they have a tough task ahead tonight on Thursday, right?
Yeah.
I think y'all know who I'm going to be rooting for.
I know.
But Miami visits the Buffalo Bills. A word from Tua Tagovailoa is coming up. And as the Bounce House gets ready to host the Hoodie, nothing but respect between the two head coaches in this game. A preview of UCF and UNC is on the way. Welcome back to News 6. Scott Frost and his UCF football team are less than 48 hours away from their matchup with Bill Belichick, and North Carolina is 3:30 Saturday at the Bounce House. UCF is favored to beat the 6-time Super Bowl winning coach and the Tar Heels by about a touchdown. But this game is difficult to predict. Yes, the Knights are 2-0, but they've been tested only by Jacksonville State and North Carolina A&T, not by another Power 4 team. The 2-1 Tar Heels haven't beaten anybody on their level either. One thing is certain, the two head coaches share a mutual respect.
I got a ton of respect for Bill. I haven't spent a lot of time with him. Obviously, he's won more at the next level than anybody in the history of the game as far as championships.
Coach Frost is, I think they led the nation in scoring when he was at UCF the last time. They threw up 60, however many points it was last week. They're very explosive.
All right, in the NFL, these are desperate times for the Miami Dolphins, and the task does not get any easier tonight. The Fins are in Western New York for a divisional showdown with the Buffalo Bills. Miami 0-2 this season and a double-digit dog tonight. The Fins quarterback Tua Tagovailoa says it's important to stay consistent.
It's one of those deals where you can never get too high in this league. You can never be too low. You just got to continue to stick to your process, stay even keel, trust the guys, continue to bring those guys along, and the result will take care of itself.
As high school football hits the midway point of the regular season, a handful of teams are undefeated. Yesterday, we featured the Spruce Creek Hawks, who have soared to 4-0. They're anchored, though, by an unsung hero. Senior Jeremiah Hall does the dirty work, playing on both the offensive and defensive lines. He's been a Hawk all 4 years, is a captain this year. When it comes to adversity on or off the field, Hall leads by example, focusing on getting better any which way he can.
Really hard working. I try to show my team how to hard work so it could affect to them. And I wasn't always good at football, but I keep improving, work hard, so I could try to show them that.
How have you seen your teammates respond to how you lead them?
They follow along, work hard. So I know when I'm going, they should be working hard and doing the same thing what I did to them.
Best of luck to Spruce Creek and Hall.
Good stuff. We'll see you tonight at 9 on clickorlando.com.
All right, second will be first.